Coming to you from beautiful Wilkes County in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina, we invite you to the musical world of the Kruger brothers. Sit back, relax, and welcome to the show with your hosts, the Kruger brothers.
That's much better.
There you go. Yes, push the button.
Yes, push the button. Something went wrong, but we were able to fix it.
Welcome to Friday with the Kruger brothers.
And Wayne Henderson.
Wayne Henderson tonight.
Special guest,
Yes.
Appreciate you guys for having me. I've heard you having a great run here, and this will probably be a showstopper.
Oh, Wayne, this is an honor to have you here tonight. Really, it's this is just wonderful that you're here. That you made your way down from rugby, and
it's just amazing for me because you guys have been some of my absolute favorite people ever since you've been here in this country. I was one of the first people to get to pick with you and see you around and stuff, and I've admired you guys and appreciated you and consider you my best friends, and you wouldn't believe what an honor it is for me to be sitting here amongst all you guys and pick
Wayne,
with you.
You're too kind. That is actually very mutual, this feeling.
Thank you.
We've spent many happy hours together.
Yeah, for sure.
And tonight's going to be great. We're just so happy that you're here. So you're going to start off with a tune that has different names. Foggy Mountain Specialism, and Earl recorded it, and it's like Heavy Traffic Ahead, with Bill Monroe. And then it became jazzing, with Doc Watson. Called it. I think on that album they call it jazzing.
I remember I had that album. My sister got it for me. She found it in the bargain bin for like 95 cents or something. And it turned out to be one of my absolute favorite records I ever had.
Yeah.
Same here. I never thought that a single guitar player could play like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So you want to kick us off?
Okay, we'll try it.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you, guys. That was the most fun I've had in at least 2 years.
Well, you live in Rugby, Virginia, right across the border from Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Near the state park.
Yeah, I live right down below Grayson Highlands Park. Beautiful park, country. Of course, there's not many people there. 6 or 7 people make up the whole town of Rugby. And we have to, take turns. Which there's not many of us we have to take turns of being the mayor and the preacher and the school teacher and the town drunk. And the preacher don't like it when I'm gone like this for a while, and he has to be the town drunk twice in a row. but he'll be okay.
So you guys know each other?
Oh yeah, yeah, pretty much whether you want to or not. With her, yeah.
But was it always like that when you grew up? Was there more people there in the community?
It's pretty much about always been like that. Mm-hmm. Not too much goes on in Rugby, and it's always been a small community like that. And I could tell you this one, my favorite old time story about not many people. Mm-hmm. With just 6 or 7 people there, the circus was coming through there.
Oh.
And they wouldn't stop for 6 or 7 people. You can understand that. That's the way they would. You can't blame them. But we had some excitement anyway, because when they were traveling our old rough roads, they broke a wheel off of one of those carts that they carried those circus animals in. And they spilled it over the side of the hill and turned them loose. And we had all kinds of things like that running around in our community. We had lions, tigers, things like that. And we were used to nothing much bigger than a rabbit or a possum. And that stirred up quite a fuss. And but the circus people caught them all up, and they really didn't hurt anybody. So that was cool. That was good. But what I want to tell you the funny story about, they lost the elephant. They couldn't find a thing as big as an elephant in that little community. And the sheriff got word that he'd been out at this old lady's farm. And, of course, he went out there the very next morning and went up to her house, knocked on her door and got her out and asked her if she had seen an elephant. And come to find out, Joel, you know what? She had never seen one before.
She'd never seen an elephant?
Nope, never seen an elephant, didn't know what it was. Okay. Never even seen a picture of one in a book. And the sheriff was trying to describe what he was looking for. And he said, asked her if she had seen anything like that, because he'd heard he'd been out there. And she said, yes, said, just this morning I saw some kind of a big old animal like that right up there in my garden. And said, you know what? That thing was pulling up every one of my cabbages with its tail. And he said, pulling up cabbages with its tail? What in the world was it doing with them? And she said, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. So I guess that old lady didn't know one end of an elephant from the other. So,
that's where you live.
Yeah, that's where I live.
That's where you live.
Yeah. Stuff like that goes on about all the time.
Oh, Wayne, it's just, I can't believe you're sitting here. Our good friend Kurt Stadin from Switzerland, he was the one who introduced us to you.
Yeah.
And he said, there's this man up in the mountains and he builds guitars and he plays with finger picks, and a thumping. And that's how you actually play. Like, You play with finger picks, but you sound like you're flat picking, you know. You play all this Doc Watson, you know, riffs and things, you know, but you play with finger picks. And he was so amazed. He said, "It's the best guitarist I've ever heard in my life." You know, he said, "So we got to go up there." And so we drove up there, and we lost our way.
It took us about a couple of hours.
Ain't no wonder, pretty hard to find.
The road where you have to turn off to your road.
Well, we ended up all the way on 81.
You missed it a pretty good way.
It was way before GPS and everything.
And then we always do, we said to Kurt, this man doesn't exist, you know.
Made fun of him.
Hey, what shall we play? We should play something.
How about on the Blue Ridge Mountains? You know, you live in the middle of the beautiful mountains up there.
Hang Me, Oh Hang Me.
Hang Me, Oh Hang Me is something that we haven't done in a while.
That's good, yeah.
One, two, three, four. Hang the blue, oh hang me, and I'll be dead and gone. Hang me, oh hang me, and I'll be dead and gone. It's not the hang that I mind, it's laying in jail so long. I'm all around this world. Lulu, sweet Lulu, come open up that door. Lulu, oh Lulu, come open up that door. Before I have opened it up, my old 44, I'm all around this world. Hang me, oh hang me, and I'll be dead and gone. Hang me, oh hang me, and I'll be dead and gone. It's not the hanging that I mind, laying in jail so long, I'm all around this world. On the Blue Ridge Mountains, that's where I'll take my stand. On the Blue Ridge Mountains, that's where I'll take my stand. With a pistol in my pocket and a rifle in my hand, I'm all around this world. Hang me, oh hang me, and I'll be dead and gone. Hang me, oh hang me, and I'll be dead and gone. It's not the hanging that I mind, laying in jail so long, I'm all around this world. Momma and Papa and little sister make three. Momma and Papa and little sister make three. They would come and see me hanging from the gallows tree. I'm all around this world. Hang me, oh hang me, dead and gone. It's not the hanging that I mind, laying in jail so long. I've been all around this world. It's not the hanging that I mind, it's laying in jail so long. I've been all around this world. I've been all around this world. Oh, I messed you up there in the beginning.
No,
I'm
that's all
sorry.
right. No problem, no problem. But you know, the great thing about Wayne, and you experience, and you know, of course, you all know Wayne, and everybody wants something from Wayne.
It's usually a guitar. That's
It's usually-
not much picking.
Well, I've been wanting a bass, but-
I mean, but Wayne has been playing, you know, all his life, and he's been touring all over the world with his guitar, playing for countless people. And but he's world famous for his guitars. I think he's the most famous guitar builder, acoustic steel string guitar builder in the world today.
Or rugby up there anyway.
No, you are, because you got the Medal of Honor from the president for your guitar building, and I don't think many. You know, I'm serious now. You know, and you know, because you have brought so much to the guitar, and you built guitars for everybody. Eric Clapton, you know, Uwe Kruger.
Well, that's what it's hard to say.
Jens Kruger.
You know, you built
You
guitar.
even have one.
Yes,
I have.
How did you get into guitar building? Really, that's a
Well, I guess I've been building them since I was a teenager when I made my first one that had a number. But, you know, I made some before that out of cardboard boxes, you know, and I'd put a whittle out a neck and put fish line on it so I could play a little bit of a tune on it.
Yeah.
And,
You
and
still
I have made guitars for all that long and for lots of really famous people, but nobody any more honored than you guys. You know?
Ooh, come on now.
Wayne, do you still have that first guitar?
I still have my number one, my good old Momma, you know. Well, she wouldn't let me rob the tuners and parts off of it to make another one.
Yeah.
Said, you need to keep that, or I do, you know. And she wouldn't let me tear it up or get rid of it, and so I still have it, you know, thanks to her. And I had, you know, I still have the old cardboard one.
Yeah.
That it doesn't play real good, and it's got 3 or 4 strings, fish line strings on it.
Wow.
But I still have it, and that's a, you know, pretty cool deal. And I made that little cardboard one when I was 7 or 8 years old, and so I guess I've always had that on my mind. And
But you use mainly a whittling knife to do most of your delicate work, right?
yeah, that's I do. I grew up whittling and carving. My grandpa and my dad, you know, we lived on a farm and had to do everything, and that was one of the main tools. You know, you could whittle out a hammer handle or whatever you had to have, you know, with a pocket knife, a good carving knife, and you just did almost everything with it. You had to, you know, work on the fence or cut the hay bale or twines or whatever, you know, to feed the cows, and you just had to have a good pocket knife in your pocket or you just couldn't make it, you know.
So one more thing before we play a little bit more, but I just want to know if an aspiring guitar builder out there wants to get a good pocket knife like you to start out with, what would you say? What should they get?
Well, you know, I don't know what about if we have to pay some company for a commercial here?
You get paid, I guess.
But there's, you know, I like old timers, you know, Schrade and, you know, Case makes a good knife. They make them for, you know, trade and collection now, but sometimes old ones are good. You know, it seems like the older metal is like everything is better than the stuff they make now new. But, you know, I like any kind of nice old-timey pocket knives, and some of them are called old-timers, you know, and I use them a lot. There's 5 or 6 of them laying around my shop that I use.
How long do they last you? I mean,
well, not as long as most people, because, you know, I take it over to the grinder and I sharpen it, and then I've got this little wheel that'll rub that thing about 2,000 times more than I can do it on a wet rock. You know, in you know, a lot of time, and it saves time, and they do probably wear them out a little faster. And then I use knives every day. You know, there's never a day passes I don't carve something with that knife.
But amazing thing, you know, about Wayne is that if I, you know, that people order a guitar with you, and then they can't wait for it to be finished, and they get on a list or no list, but they tell you I want a guitar, and then they try to get that guitar somehow, and so they go and they know Wayne likes maybe Bojangles chicken or bring a pie or something, and so they linger around his house, try to bribe him, to work on his guitar.
Like vultures,
And they vultures, they try. And I think did Eric Clapton? He had to wait for 8 years, I think, to get.
Yeah,
his guitar,
he sure did. That's most time I like to say, well, he's a world famous guitar player and everything like that, but that's not as important to me as making something for you guys who I know and that kind of thing, but I would try to treat him the same as I would anybody else,
Yes, I mean,
what I always thought is so amazing is how many young people play your guitars around here from families that could not afford to buy a guitar.
Just build them a guitar and give it away. I mean, how many guitars have you given away for young,
aspiring musicians?
Yes.
Yeah, lots of them for that, and that's the most important thing in the world to me is youngsters playing music, because I can remember when I was a youngster, how much fun I had just desperately trying to learn how to play something. It was hard to have somebody to show you how to do something. But that's important to me. And if I see some youngster that can really pick and doesn't have a guitar, I might be likely to give him one.
Yeah, I know.
Is the jam program still going on?
The jam program's still going. My friend Helen White started that in the school system, and that's still going. And that's been responsible for a lot of young musicians learning how to play. And so we always appreciate her for that.
Yes.
Why don't we play one? Would you up to playing Alabama Jubilee?
Well, I'll try it.
I mean, I heard you played with
Presley.
With Presley and
and Jeff Little. And
Jeff Little, of course.
He's a wild piano player like nothing like.
Maybe we can convince him to come over one day. Who knows?
All right.
Well, I'm getting a little older and feeble. My fingers don't work like they used to, but I'll do the best I can. So here's Alabama Jubilee. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wayne.
That was wild. We couldn't keep up with you.
Oh, that's just. You can keep up with an old geezer like me pretty easy, I think.
No. This is really, for me, it's always hard sitting next to you and play because I'd rather sit here and watch you. Because, all this music is coming out of your guitar and you hardly do anything. It's just, it looks like...
I guess it's hard enough for me to move one part at one time, I don't...
That guitar, you have been playing this particular guitar that you built. You know what number is that guitar?
It's number 52.
So because you've been playing this guitar ever since we've known you.
Yes.
20, that's been 24 years ago,
now,
pretty much, when we first
met.
Yeah, well, I guess I built this old guitar probably 42 years ago. And it's number 52, and I'm up to number 841 now.
Ooh.
841, and we just talked about it before. I think Stradivarius bought, he built around 800 instruments in his life. Right?
Oh, yeah, well, that's pretty cool. If I can get anywhere close to as much as he did, but I guess that's pretty amazing. He made that many because, he didn't have a bandsaw. I'm sure he had a good pocket knife, a carving knife, but
maybe he had a few people working for him.
Yeah, he had a bunch of apprentices.
Yeah, I think I have heard that.
But you are considered in the eyes of all the friends and musicians worldwide. You are considered to be the Stradivarius of the Martin style guitar. Of the steel string guitar.
Well,
really
thank you. That's an exaggeration, but I'm very honored that people brag on my stuff. And
oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, for me, I have a different name for you. I call you Geppetto.
Oh yeah,
because Geppetto made something that came alive out of wood, and this is exactly what you do. You take the wood that's there and you tap it, and it's just fascinating to watch it because every piece that you put in your guitars has a sound to it, right? That it's just an amazing thing.
Tap every piece,
and
right?
you drop them on the table and stuff. It's just
almost every piece of it, I'll end up tapping and listening to it. Mm-hmm. But I tell most people, there's really nothing much to making these guitars. You just take some, good, in this case, some mahogany, and lots of times nice Brazilian rosewood when you can get it, and nice Appalachian spruce, and a good sharp carving knife, and get all that good material wood, and all you got to do is cut off everything that don't look like a guitar.
Make it sound easy. Well, how is the interweb, Melissa?
Interweb is fantastic. They're really enjoying Wayne.
I'm sure they are. So they're watching from all over the world, I suppose.
From all over, yes.
Yes, it's just fantastic.
Well, that's pretty cool. Like I say, it's really an honor to come here and play with you guys and get to be on this computer. I mean, I've got one up there, but I don't know how to use it, pretty much. And to be able to...
don't take your pocket knife to it.
Yeah.
But Wayne, you were not just a guitar builder all your life. You were a postmaster.
I was a rural mail carrier. I did that that's something else I say too. Probably Stradivarius didn't do that. We wasn't the mailman for 30 years. And had a little more time, to work on his stuff. But I've been retired from that probably 14 or 15 years, and I've made a lot of guitars since that. Yeah. But the whole time I was a rural mail carrier, I worked in my shop every day. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't have quite as much time and didn't turn out as many instruments as I do now. But,
that's right.
But I've still always pretty much, worked by myself in there. I have general loafers that sometimes I'll put to sanding stuff and doing things. I've had a few helpers, Gerald Anderson, Don Wilson, and people like that who have been.
Herb Key?
Herb Key is one of my nearest and dearest friends, and he works in my shop still today, and does repair work. And Herb is a master craftsman himself, and
yes, he really is,
and does great work, and a good musician and player, and I play with him probably more than anybody else, and he's a special great guy. That's all there is to it. Gardener, beekeeper, and jack of all trades.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does a lot of stuff, and he's good at the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well,
Wayne, I knew Bill Collins, and Bill Collins had something for cars. Do you still have that old Thunderbird?
I still have. I had that Thunderbird out last week. and drove it up to the state park, and it's a 1957. That's my favorite toy that I have, you know, and that it's a, you know, I get that thing out and run it once in a while, and it's a, like I say, it's my favorite toy. And
Well, see, I thought that you would come down with, so when I was watching out there over there at 15, when 15 starts, I was expecting that Thunderbird.
oh yeah, well, if you'd
And
have
then
told me,
you pulled up in the Subaru.
yeah,
Very
well,
sensible.
all us good hillbilly hippies, all of us got a Subaru now.
I got one of them too.
Yeah.
But those Subarus are great. You know, in Switzerland, we said, what is left when you cremate a Swiss mountain farmer is the little pull from his zipper on his Helly Hansen polar fleece jacket,
Yeah.
and the key of his Subaru.
Oh yeah.
Jens has one too.
You want to sing? You want to sing something?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm worried. On Canaan's Land. What do you think of Canaan's Land? Key of E.
That's a nice one to jam on, eh?
That's pretty. Yeah. I think so.
Tim, good
Good enough.
enough.
I'm on my way to Canaan's land. On my way to Canaan's land. On my way to Canaan's land. Praise the Lord, 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 I'm on my way. And if my brother don't go, don't hang it on me. My brother don't go, don't hang it on me. Brother, don't go, don't hang it on me. Praise the Lord, Lordy, Lord, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to Canaan's land. On my way to Canaan's land. On my way to Canaan's land. Praise the Lord, Lordy, Lord, I'm on my way. If Wayne don't go, don't hang it on me. If Wayne don't go, don't hang it on me. If Wayne don't go, don't hang it on me. Praise the Lord, Lordy, Lord, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to Canaan's land. On my way to Canaan's land. I'm on my way to Canaan's land. Praise the Lord, Lordy, Lord, I'm on my way. Now if Joel don't go, don't hang it on me. Now if Joel don't go, don't hang it on me. Joel don't go, don't hang it on me. Praise the Lord, Lordy, Lord, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to Canaan's land. On my way to Canaan's land. On my way to Canaan's land. Praise the Lord, Lord, to Canaan's land. I'm on my way to Canaan's land. I'm on my way to Canaan's land. Praise the Lord, Lordy Lord, I'm on my way. Praise the Lord, Lordy Lord, I'm on my way.
Well, that was cool. Enjoyed it. It's great to play with a good drummer. I never get to do
gosh,
that.
there's nothing better.
I think all the
You
people,
just beat me to it, Jody.
I think all the good drummers up around Rugby left 200-300 years ago.
During the Revolutionary War as drummer boys. Well, you have a lot of great stories, from up there.
Well, talking about the Thunderbird actually reminded me of one a while ago. That being my favorite toy, and talk about old Herb Key. He told me about a junkyard down here in Wilkes that was, had a lot of old parts. And he said, if you'll come down here, we'll go look. I bet you find something for your Thunderbird there. And there's a lot of old cars in there. And said, I bet you they'll have something. And so I said, I'll go with you. And go down. And we did. I come down. Herb went with me way over in the community here somewhere. And there was a nice old junkyard, and it's full of old cars. And I went out there, and the junkyard fella that ran it, said, just go out there and find what parts you need and take it off, and then come back front and pay for it when you get done. And that sounded good, and I was having a good time. We went out there, and there's a lot of weeds and grass growed up everywhere around the little car, and I was a little bit worried about snakes.
Snakes, yeah, we got a lot of snakes around here.
Copperheads down here, And I was worried about that a little, and I was being careful where I stepped, and I walked around in front of this old car, and there was a big hole in the ground. I mean, a humongous hole. It was as big as half this room. And I didn't know what in the world was going on there, and I wondered how deep that thing is. I was afraid to get too close to it. Right out in the middle of that junkyard. And I picked a rock up that big and tossed it over in that hole. Never did hear it hit the bottom. It just don't know how deep. And I told Herb, right there lays a big transmission. Let's throw that thing. We'll hear that thing hit for sure. And it had a shaft out both ends of it, so we could lift it. He got on one end, I got on the other. And we got that thing and tossed it over in there and was listening. Still didn't hear nothing. A thing that big. Didn't hear a sound of nothing. But what I heard was something back behind me. And I looked around, and here come a white goat. And he had horns that long. And he was heading right at me as fast as he could go. And I thought, man, I'm in trouble here. I don't know what's happening. And that goat was running right at me. And when he got to me, I sort of sidestepped him, and he missed. And that goat went right over there and jumped off in that hole, too.
What?
And we didn't hear him hit either. And I looked at her, what in the world is going on here? Everything. And then about that time, the junkyard fella came out there to see if we found our part. And I said, well, no, I haven't found anything yet. And he said, by the way, have you seen my goat? And I said, was he a white goat about that high with big long horns? He said, yeah, that's him. I said, I saw him, but you ain't going to believe what he did. Said that goat tried to run over me, and I sidestepped him, and he missed, and he went off and jumped off in that sinkhole or whatever that big hole there is. He went in that. He scratched his head a little, said no. Said that couldn't have been my goat. Said I had him tied to a big truck transmission.
Well, I think they ended up building.
Oh boy.
I think I know where that sinkhole is. That's the one where they built the up on 421 where they built the Taco Bell on there.
Hey, why don't we play pick-along?
Yes, that's a good one.
We were lucky enough, Joel, Ove, and me were lucky enough to pick with Wayne on several occasions, in festivals, especially in Sugar Grove. Yeah. We always played together, and we got to jam with Doc, and play with him. And,
it's wonderful.
We just get, and we had several places. There's one actually. There's a video, where we play in your shop.
Yeah.
And your Christmas
And
party.
the Christmas party.
And the kitchen.
And of course, there's a video we play Black Mountain Rag, I think, in Todd. Todd General Store in the Meadow.
Oh yeah.
We used to get together and play. What a great memories.
That's one of my favorite jamming places. Goes and that's
Just burned down, right?
it did. That's,
What, it burned down?
Yeah.
yeah, it sure did.
With all that
But-
metal siding and everything?
Yeah,
But I think the last time we got the jam was over when we played your festival a few years back, right?
yeah.
That
And
was
then
like-
Christmas, you know, you all would always jam in the kitchen.
oh
Right
yeah.
by the
Yeah.
food.
Yeah,
That-
yeah. Get close to the food.
I'm always guarding the banana pudding.
Yeah. You was being real careful, made sure nothing happened to it.
So here we go with a little piccolo. We're from that same album, right? Strictly
Yeah.
instrumental.
I forgot to do that little Indian thing on there, but maybe we'll do it next time.
There's always a next time.
Oh, I remember last time when we played. Last time we played at your festival, it rained sideways onto the stage. It rained us out.
I remember. Yeah.
That was too bad.
That was a few
And
years
then,
ago.
then y'all came back the next year and made up for it.
Yeah.
That's
You think
that's
we-
a little unusual that you can get
Yeah.
famous acts like you all to come
come
do
on,
something like
no,
that.
but-
Well, you had some of the best
We-
musicians up there.
We certainly have not forgotten that. And
Oh,
that's-
no, yep. But
When do you think we can come back one day if we have the festival again?
Oh, I hope so. You know, of course, there's been nothing going on for the last couple of years.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm really hoping that we can get it back going maybe next year, and we'd certainly hope to have you guys come anytime you all would
Yeah.
do, because
we don't want to force us onto you. But
No,
you've been playing with Presley a lot, right? Presley
been
Barker.
playing with Presley Barker. He's
Yes.
from right here in this community, and he's one of the most amazing young men that I know. Besides his talent as a player, he's a wonderful
Yeah.
young gentleman. You know, that's all there is to it. And he's just amazing. Is all I can say. And I wish him well. And he's pursuing country music, you know. And I just hope he can do whatever happens of where they, make a go of it and have a big hit or something. Maybe he'll write that hit song or something. You know.
Well, I sure hope so, because his entire family, they're just wonderful people.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
brother is
Oh yeah.
awesome. He plays drums, right?
He's been playing with these things like this thing right here. You know, it's a cajon or something like that.
I was afraid a little bit for him, when he entered that America's Got Talent thing, that they would snap him up, and just American Idol, yes, and would mold him into something that he ain't, but how they do that sometimes
I
with
don't
people.
think
But
Presley will never forget his roots, and he may do whatever he has to play the kind of music that's modern and going on now. but he was so talented.
Sorry. No, but you have really helped them, and we really appreciate that. You know, seeing you how you have helped. You know, also Jeff Snyder.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Jeff Snyder. You know how.
Well, I remember both of those young fellas. You know, being tiny young fellas that you'd help out playing a little bit to start with, or make an instrument for them, or something. And you can't imagine how proud I am of all those folks.
Yes,
to
exactly.
do something like that.
One of the most important things, though, that you always provided was a way for these kids to jam with professionals. After your festival at your house or at the Christmas party, they come and they get to play with some of the best musicians that play this music.
That's very important, I think, and I can remember what little bit of that I'd get to do. How important, excited, like it is, like nowadays for me, getting to play with you all. But remember,
you are quite famous, for your chicken jokes.
Chicken jokes. Well, I know one that I guess you talk about my aunt that was such a good cook, and that's one of my favorite ones, and that I tell about sometimes. My aunt's an absolutely great cook, and my uncle called and invited me over to Sunday dinner. Sunday dinner is usually in, middle of the day on Sunday, We called it dinner time then. Dinner's really for proper people, of the night, I think. But it's always in the middle of the day for us. And anyway, I was excited because my aunt's a great cook, and I went over there and I was out there talking to my uncle, and she come out and said, dinner's ready. And I couldn't wait to get in there, and lo and behold, she had fried chicken. And she had roasted chicken. And she had grilled chicken. And she had baked chicken. She had chicken pot pie. And she had chicken and dumplings. And I thought,
a lot of chicken.
A little bit unusual, but my aunt's such a good cook, and I do like chicken. That's no problem. So we went in there, and we had a big old feed. She had all that stuff, and it was all absolutely great. And we got out there, and after you have a big old meal like that, usually you got to sit around and let it settle a little, We was out on the front porch in the rocking chairs, and we live out in the country, or they did, and just had a little front porch, and we was sitting. I was out there talking to my uncle. While we was sitting there talking, a chicken come walking around the side of the house, right around the corner of the porch, and started out through the yard. And that chicken, I was just watching it. It goes, it's nothing unusual, for that to happen up there. But that chicken started walking crooked. It was going out through the yard, and it started going this way, and it started going that way. And it started wobbling and actually staggering around a little. And before it got out to the yard fence, that chicken fell over, flopped over on its side. And I asked my uncle, said, what in the world happened to that chicken? He said, I ain't got no idea. He said, they've been dying faster than we can eat them.
Oh, Wayne.
Wayne, was it? I remember. I mean, you said that you never saw one of our shows yet, right? So
no, I haven't seen it.
So you have no internet up there, well, in Rugby or maybe bad. But you have TV up there, right? When did you get TV up in the mountains?
Oh Lord, TV. That was a. I think we got a TV in 1955. I remember.
Did your neighbors have TV first, or did you?
Yeah, you know about you talking about the one where I used to go down to my uncle's to watch wrestling.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, that is I don't know what kind of show you got here or anything, but anyway, my uncle had a TV before we did, and my grandpa and dad loved to watch wrestling, and we'd go down to his house and watch wrestling every Wednesday night. The Wednesday night fights were on the air, and we'd go down there, and we got a little bit embarrassed at going down to watch their TV every Wednesday night, and we got somebody gave us word that some other neighbors over there had a TV also, and said they had a hallway, and you could go down that hallway and you could watch TV. Watch wrestling through the keyhole.
Ooh. And
it didn't bother them. They didn't know you was there. Anything. So we'd go do that and take turns watching wrestling through the keyhole down there over at their house. And it took us a while to find out, but finally found out, they didn't have no TV. may get you thrown off the air. I don't know.
Let's do way downtown. It's I mean, and Doc used to come up to your shop, right? And
Doc used to hang out in his later years. I think it was his favorite loafing place, and he would come around. He would pick and.
You come with Charles Welch or?
Charles Welch would always bring him up. Charles still comes up to the shop. Yeah. He's actually been up there lately and built a guitar.
Really?
And he's made about 2 now. I think he's doing good.
Cool.
But he always brought Doc, and it was always an excitement, and I always appreciate because Charles would take Doc anywhere he wanted to go. I think. And
Charles would bring him. When we were playing Greenfield's Restaurant.
Yeah.
And, he would come for Doc, play with us.
I've always appreciated Charles for taking care of Doc, and
yes.
He would take him, I think, anywhere he wanted to go. And,
yes, Charles, first class.
Yeah, and done a lot of playing with him too. Anyway, excuse me.
1, 2, 3. Late last night when Woody came home, I heard him rapping at the door. He came slipping and sliding with his new shoes on. Said, Woody, don't you rap no more. Way downtown just fooling around, took me to the jail. And told me and it told mine, I ain't got no one to go my way. I was over at my sweet Sally's house, just sitting in that big armchair, with one arm around this old flat-top guitar, the other one around my dear. Oh me, oh my, what's gonna become of me? I've been downtown just fooling around, no one to cry for me. Shirt is just about all I've got, and $1 is all I crave. I brought nothing with me into this old world, ain't gonna take nothing to my grave. Way downtown, just fooling around, took me to the jail. For me and it's all mine, I ain't got no one to go my way. So play it.
Good job.
It turned out good. It's just great, to have a rhythm section with Joel and Jody. It's just so tight, and whatever you play on it will sound fine.
It's amazing to me.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
It's just such luxury.
You just don't get to do that. I mean, you guys get to do it all the time, but not for me. It's just really wonderful.
You play with some great rhythm sections too. I mean, some of the best bass players around love to play with you around here, man.
Well, I appreciate that.
Herb and Ron and those guys.
Oh yeah.
Even Bill has great timing.
Yeah.
We just saw
in fact,
we just
saw Bill last week. He's got the only
Wayne Henderson bass guitar.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Which, I hope one day to maybe convince you to make another one.
Oh, absolutely. If I can keep kicking and picking and stuff like that, I will see if we can't
that's
get
nice.
you one.
That's the nice thing about Wayne. You know, he never. I've been up at his shop. I don't know how many times, and people call in and say, "I want to order a guitar," and he will always. Okay, let me put you on the list, you know. And he never says no to anybody or says I don't have time. But says there's a waiting time. There will be a waiting time, you know. And he puts them on the list.
How long is the waiting time? About 150 years?
It would be probably something like that. It's got out past me, I think. But I always like Uwe says, I never tell anybody no, and I always think, anybody asks, I always plan on making their instrument and hope I get to it.
Yes,
although I know I probably can't, all of them, but I hope to, you know.
But you have also built mandolins.
Yeah, I've made.
And you have built banjos.
Yes.
Yeah, I built a few banjos.
You know,
And-
Well, actually, you can also kind of brag on your daughter a bit too, because she's become a world-class luthier as well.
I
No.
think I'm glad you reminded us, Joel, of
Yeah.
that, because you know she's just
Yeah,
really
Elizabeth
awesome.
is absolutely
Unbelievable.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, she does beautiful inlay work, and
Yeah.
you know, she came, you know, all of her younger days didn't mess in the shop too much, just came around there a little bit, and one day when she graduated from law school and come in one day and wanted to know if I would build her a guitar. She had seen what they bring on eBay, you know, sometimes, and wanted to know if I could build her a guitar she could pay her student loan with. And I said, well, of course I would, but you know, you ought to build it yourself. And she's fussed about that a while, but she agreed to do it.
Yep.
And started to do it. And she got about halfway through that guitar and come in there one day. I couldn't believe it. She come in here and said, you know what? Said, I can't believe this, but I'm having a good time. And was built a gorgeous guitar, and it turned out beautiful. I gave her my best wood and my best instructions, and she's a wonderful artist, and I knew she could do it.
Brilliant.
You know, because she's good with her hands, and her artwork is amazing, and she's has some kind of a feel for it, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, she got that guitar done, and it was beautiful, sounded great, and somebody gave her $25,000 for it, and she's been hooked on it ever since.
Oh man, wonderful.
And I think she's made 60 or 70 guitars now or something.
Fantastic.
Does she still have enough time after?
Well, after having, I've got a little grandyoungin named Matilda now. I've already made her a guitar, you know, when she was born.
Perfect.
And so she'll have a guitar her age, and that cuts down on Jane's work time. But she still does it, and still turns out not as many instruments, but some.
Yes, right.
And she's I'm so proud of her. And we got this
That
little.
should be.
No, she never did practice any law after she got that
After she got hooked
guitar.
on building guitars.
Started out so good at that. She hasn't done that since. Yeah.
And she's an amazing lady. First time I think I met her was when she built that guitar for Doc out of oak.
Yeah, she
Right?
did. Doc asked her for a guitar.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Doc passed away about 2 weeks before she got that done. But I told her, you need to keep that, and it's in the guitar collection now. But Doc was a fan of hers, and he really liked her work, and she was proud of that. And
Yes.
she's you know, she was a good, you know, really appreciated Doc, and she had you know, like anybody, she has. I'll tell you this one quick little story, and she had you know, cutting the dovetail to fit the neck of these things is a hard job. You do it by hand and with a table saw and stuff, and it's hard to get that to work good, you know. And she was working on that guitar, and she ran it through the saw and got there and put it in. It fit just perfect, and she was so excited about that. Didn't even have to carve, whittle, or you know, do too much work. She said, "I believe Doc was up there, had something to do with this."
Yep.
She's wonderful.
Might have.
She really is.
That's great.
It's the guy, you know, people walking around, you know, having caps made, you know, Wayne Henderson caps with the number of their guitar on it. You know.
Well, I actually have a strap with the number of my guitar on it, right there. Yeah, Wayne has signed it, you know. There's one of your friends who makes these, right?
Yeah, Mr. Gibson. Yeah.
I have, you know, I've played this guitar in all these shows, you know, and I record with it all the time. And I compose lots of music with this, so this is my
Oh, cool.
my companion, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, why don't we play one with 3 guitars,
Well, I
3
don't know,
Hendersons?
you
Yeah,
know.
come on, let's do something.
I
Something
don't
like
want to make a fool out of myself here, you know.
Come on, Jens.
No.
Yeah, one of the best guitar players I know, you know.
Yeah, come on, Jens. Come on, play. Let's play a little Henderson.
Then I have to turn up the microphone a little bit because my microphone's really low. What do you want to play?
Something.
Play something like you did there a while ago.
No. Let's do. We all do one together. You know, let's do something like
Wildwood Flower?
Oh, yeah.
something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a...
Huh? Right, Jens?
Whatever. Okay.
So I'm the only flat picker in this whole thing. 1, 2, 3.
Pretty cool.
That's the first time we ever played guitar together.
Yeah,
know?
that's very exciting to me.
But Wayne, didn't you? You had Mother Maybell's L5 in your shop, right?
It was the other one. It was the old Martin that belonged to AP.
Okay.
And that was I wish it had been that old L5. You know, that's a pretty amazing, famous instrument. But I guess that one was too. It was a little 12-fret Martin that belonged to AP Carter.
Okay.
And
you restored instruments as well, right?
Yeah, I did some repair and fixed it up and got it back playing.
Well, Wayne, you hired me many years ago to play up at the Carter Fold. Remember that?
Oh, I do remember that.
So you hired me to play banjo in the band, with Herb Key and you, and we played up at the Carter Fold.
Yes.
Is the family home of the Carter family, right?
Yeah.
And so they have a barn, where they have seating, like an amphitheater and a big stage, and they have the whole thing going.
Nice.
And there were a lot of great musicians up there. I had a fantastic time.
Well, that's pretty cool. I was pretty proud. I felt like I was bringing the best banjo player in the world, to come to play with a band like us,
We had a great time. When was that? That was a long time ago.
I do remember that
2000 or so, 99.
It was before I even moved to America.
Yeah.
And you got me with the car. I think I went with Herb Key. I met him somewhere up by Walmart. We met, and then he took me up there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Brian Bowers was there.
Yeah, I guess it was their festival they had.
It was the festival.
Yeah, sort of the big deal.
Yeah,
and I thought I needed to bring in
the big guns.
Bring in the big guns, And everybody was amazed. Where in the world did you get a banjo player like that?
Well, but I have to tell you, all out there in the world, internets, I know that you all admire Wayne just like we do, because he's an amazing person, to make amazing things in life, you probably just got to be an amazing person as well. You cannot have.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that so much.
I think we're so proud that you. And happy and thankful that you came down the mountain.
Well,
and spent this afternoon and this evening with us here.
Well,
most delightful.
Most delightful, yes.
Well, I'm so appreciative of you guys for having me, and you know, music and van's been scarce. And just really great that y'all would have me come down, and I've enjoyed this so much, and just to get to be out and play. Let alone just be out and play with amongst the best in the business, you know, with all you guys.
Well, we're going to come up and haunt you in your shop. Okay?
Oh, that'd be great. I would love that. And then it's always exciting when you guys come up and just I've probably gotten a couple of new guitars you haven't seen, maybe. And
you said something about an old OM.
I got 18? A nice old 1931 and a 33 OM. And I'm always looking for old guitars. And
I know you have
I've been fortunate enough to trade mine for them, you know.
But you have an amazing collection, and it's like a library of guitars. I think, you know, there's I've never seen a collection like that in my life before, or you know, it's just great. The first time I really got to play a real good guitar was over at your house, you know, when you
cool,
and that really changed my life. It really did, you know.
Well, thank you.
And now I got one, you know.
Oh yeah.
Let's wrap it up. I thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, everybody out in the Wonderland. And
maybe I want to say quickly, even though we do have a few shows lined up now, we still rely on your donations for our show. We can't keep this up if we don't ask for donations. You know, there's I hope that you can find.
We do a lot of free shows, you know, for the town of Wilkesboro and
stuff like
try
that.
to get out. But you know, if you can give something, it's fine. If you can't, it's fine.
Yes,
so it's all good. We have a cook show recorded, and we're excited about that as well.
Yeah, I've heard that's good.
Sunday.
If the internet ever comes to Rugby, so I can see some of this stuff. You know,
Don't forget the Sunday.
It's so far back in the sticks where I live. It takes a Grand Ole Opry Wednesday night to get there. You know, but some of these days they'll have the internet.
Wilkesboro again.
Yeah. All right.
So we're gonna do for the last song. We're gonna do "Mama Don't Lie" like Doc used to do.
Okay.
Is that preposterous or?
Yeah, that's great.
Is that okay?
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, we'll give it a
What
try
did we do
for
to
sure.
G?
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you. Want to start it, Jens?
No, just.
Mama don't like no music played around here. Mama don't like no music played around here. Now you don't care what Mama don't like, you're gonna play that music anyhow. Mama don't like no music played around here. Now Mama don't like no guitar picked around here. Mama don't like no guitar picked around here. Now Wayne don't care what Mama don't like, he's gonna pick that guitar anyhow. Mama don't like no guitar picked around here. Played around here. Mama don't like no bass played around here. Now Joel don't care what Mama don't like, we play that bass anyhow. Mama don't like no bass played around here. Drums played around here. Mama don't like no drums played around here. Jody don't care what Mama don't like, he's gonna beat drums anyhow. Mama don't like no drums played around here. Jody! Mama don't around here. Mama don't like no banjo picked around here. Now yes, don't care if Mama don't like it's gonna pick that banjo anyhow. Mama don't like no banjo played around here. No banjo. Played around here. Now Mama don't play around here. Now, I don't care what Mama don't like. Gonna pick my guitar anyhow. I think you should.
Yo, listen to my banjos,
It's all together. One more time. Oh, Mama don't like no music played around here.
Yo, take care.
Way
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you, Wayne. We'll see you.
Broadcasting from Double Time Recording Studio in Wilkes County, North Carolina, thank you for watching and all your continued support. Please make sure and comment on how much you enjoyed the show and share it with your friends. Join us next time for another edition of The Musical World of the Kruger Brothers.